Hey guys, koolbrosMK here, and today we're going to be doing top 10 facts about the floor in 5 Nights at Freddy's. And this idea was just going to be my bruh man 45, so thanks girl. So up at number 10 we have that the floor never changes, like the texture of the floor never changes no matter what. As you see in 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, it never changes in 5 Nights at Freddy's 1 too. So maybe that's just a technical bug overlooked by Scott. I'm not so sure. So up at number 9 is that we know it's actually going to be animatronic in 5 Nights at Freddy's that is not going to touch the floor at all. The reason we know this is because in all the 5 Nights at Freddy's games, there's always been an animatronic that touches the floor. In 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, Mangle didn't touch the floor except for one exception when I believe he was in the main hall. He only touched the ceiling. Now, there's going to be an animatronic or an Easter egg that is going to have it not touch the floor, since the floor in front of the Freddy's has been something very valuable for a long time. So, that's just something I noticed. And what do you guys think? This idea was suggested to me by Super Poopy Deepers 67. So, thanks, man. Up at number 8 is that we know in 5 Nights at Freddy's 2, the Mangle actually touches the floor. Now, it seems impossible since the Mangle hangs from the ceiling, but think about it. The Mangle is in Kids Cove all the time. Well, for some time, right? And so he's on the floor. Then in the main hall, he touches the floor. I know it's a small little fact here, but you know, it could work. So yeah. Up at number 7 is I think the floor from 5 Nights at Freddy's 3, for 5 Nights at Freddy's 2 and 3, it's actually going to be in the third game. So I have lots of evidence to support this, and I also have another theory that's going to be in fact number 6. But as we see in the teaser trailer that Scott recently put out, we see that the floor stays the same. Now this could be just something new, and you know, Scott could be still working on the floor textures, but I have a pretty good feeling that the floor is going to be in 5 Nights at Freddy's 3. Up at number 6, we have that it's a theory made by Super Duper Poopy Man, and it states that the floor is actually haunted from all the dead children that the Purple Man killed, and that pretty much that the animatronics become cursed and haunted once they touch the floor. But yeah, so it's a cool theory, and thank you, Mr. Poopy Man, for sharing this with me. Up at number 5 is something that could be overlooked by Scott, but the only animatronic or thing in the game, both 5 Nights at Freddy's, to not touch the floor is actually the marionette. Now, I'm gonna go explain this because the marionette is a puppet, and once the puppet gets unleashed, it goes springs all the way from Cam 11 to where you are and kills you. So he's the only one to not touch the floor. So I'm not sure if this is, like, again, a technical bug overlooked by Scott, but you know, maybe the marionette's gonna be in the third game. So yeah, maybe he's actually gonna be a movable animatronic. Who knows? Up at number 4, we have that the floor is actually really greasy. Or not greasy, but it shines a lot. So maybe there could be lights on. Like, we know Five Nights at Freddy's, there's obviously lights, right? But the floor is always shiny, no matter what. It's always bright. So maybe in the third game, the floors are actually gonna help you to determine where animatronic is if you can't find them. So maybe that could actually be something true. I'm going to write an email to Scott after this video, stating him that he should make something for the floor. Up at number 3, we obviously know that the floor is probably gonna the building in 5 Nights at Freddy's 3 is gonna be significantly smaller, and so there's gonna be less of the floor shown. We know this because in the teaser images that Scott gave us, the floor is, you can barely see it. So on to number 2. Up at number 2 is that we know Foxy is the only animatronic who actually, like, touches the floor a lot, because all the animatronics, they just teleport anywhere they want. Seems like weird, right? But they can't actually teleport, like Bonnie teleports, Chica teleports, Freddy teleports. So Foxy runs, and he's the only one to touch most of the floor. So I don't know. It's Scott Cousin, decided this, and it's crazy. Up at number one is, we know that the floor in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is actually gonna have a different one. Now the floor in the first two games is gonna be the same, but there's gonna be a different floor. Now the reason I support this theory by Me Life 49, thanks man, it's because Five Nights at Freddy's 1 and 2, they had the same floor, and don't you think after an abandoned factory they would change everything? Slowly change, and the floor is one of them because it's abandoned. Do you guys hear? Abandoned, meaning that it needs a change, and if it's gonna be reopened, then it's gonna need a change, like I just said. So this is actually a pretty complicated controversy in the Five Nights at Freddy's community, whether the floor is gonna stay or change. I personally believe that there's gonna be two different floors. One's gonna help and one's gonna mislead you. There's not much evidence to support this, but who cares? There's not much evidence anyway. It's like the top 10s. Hey guys, this is actually just a parody of the top 10s and theories. There's something wrong with the Five Nights at Freddy's community. They keep making pointless theories like seeing an 8 in Chica's mouth. Okay, it's just something by Scott. Like he didn't mean to put it. It's textures, guys. And then top 10 facts by a YouTuber. There's top 10 facts about the cupcake. Okay, how do we know it's gonna appear in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 just because it isn't in the gift box, or just because it is by a tiny little piece of evidence? And how could you put theories in top 10 facts? Facts are something that can be proven, and they're not false. The cupcake might not be in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, and from what we've seen in the game, actually, there is no cupcake. I'm sorry, but this has to stop. This has to stop because it's getting annoying having top 10 facts and then having theories that make no sense. Like, really, why would you make these theories? The Five Nights at Freddy's community is turning to something different than I expected. Some theories, and I'm not gonna lie, I made a theory as well, but only one theory. Some theories actually have good evidence and have a good basis / claim. Okay? Like, evidence finding Chica in Nate's mouth or anything, what does that prove? And then having the marionette gonna appear in the gift box, the Five Nights at Freddy's 3, how would you know? It's just a theory. Like, there's no evidence to support it at all. Even if there was evidence, from what we've seen, there looks like to be no evidence. Now, I may be wrong, but this has to stop. Thanks. If you like it, share everyone. Hate comments will be deleted, and if it continues, then I'm going to block.